Hello everyone, I am Dr. Heo, a Feng Shui expert. Beginning today, I will be sharing a 10-part series, detailing my journey to Taipei, Taiwan. This series will serve as both a travelogue of my experiences and a record of my Feng Shui Field Studies there. Let us begin the first chapter. In 2025, 16 elementary school alumni gathered in Taipei, Taiwan. This trip marks the second chapter of a promise we made to one another, following our 60th birthday trip to Dalat, Vietnam last year, to travel annually to a different country. The bond within this group is incredibly strong. There is a high barrier to entry, meaning no new members can join without unanimous consent. Our leader strictly limited the number of members to 16 out of concern that a larger group might lead to disagreements. This firm principle established to ensure the group stays focused, and united is the strength that sustains us. On this journey, I took a slightly different path from my friends. While they toured famous sites and enjoyed each other's company, I dedicated myself to solitary Feng Shui field studies, visiting different locations to examine the terrain and trace the flow of energy currents. Fortunately, my lifelong friends deeply understand my dedication to this craft. They quietly support me, knowing that this work brings me the greatest fulfillment. Thanks to their consideration, I could maintain my professional perspective, even while traveling with them. During this 4-day trip, I followed the general itinerary with my friends, but I also conducted separate and more detailed Feng Shui field studies of the surrounding terrain at each stop. On the first day, while visiting the National Palace Museum and Jishan Garden, I separately inspected the energy of the Taipei 101 Tower and the Raohe Street area. On the second day, I explored the Wulai Waterfall and Yunxian Resort, then added a professional analysis of the energy at the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. On the third day, I looked into the reality of Taiwanese Feng Shui through the rock formations of Yeliu, Geopark, and the Jufan Public Cemetery. The final day was spent wrapping up the journey and returning home through Taoyuan Airport. To understand the Feng Shui of Taiwan, we must first understand its context. Taiwan is an island nation about 1/6 the size of the Korean peninsula. The foundation of the modern state was laid when President Chiang Kai-shek relocated here after the Chinese Civil War. Taiwan remains in a state of military standoff with mainland China. This tense political relationship across the strait is referred to as cross-strait relations. As a Feng Shui expert, I believe understanding this geographical and historical background is an essential foundation before examining the energy of the land itself. In my practice of Feng Shui, the most important aspect is the lineage of mountain ranges known as the ancestral mountain. It involves identifying the lineage from the originating progenitor mountain down to the smaller branch mountains. This is much like mapping out the genealogy and bloodlines of a human family. There are two main theories regarding the formation of Taiwan's topography. One theory suggests that the mountain ridge continued directly from mainland China and crossed the sea. The other theory posits that it descended from north to south along the Pacific Ring of Fire. I personally focus on the second theory. It suggests that the submarine mountain ridges in the Okinawa region reached this point and completely revealed their massive forms above the water to create the island. The central mountain range, formed by the eruption of these ridges, is the backbone of Taiwan. It crosses the island from north to south, creating a distinct geographical characteristic that strictly divides the east from the west. This massive spine with its line of peaks, towering over 3,000 meters above sea level, blocks air currents. This creates significant climatic differences between the east and west, and is the decisive factor concentrating human settlement in the western plains. Supported by the dependable companionship of my friends and their understanding, I now delve deep into the principles of the land held within Taiwan. This concludes the introduction to our journey. Thank you very much for watching.